Hey there, it's Steve at Muse Themes. We have a new widget ready to go here called the Page Transitions widget. And what this does is it allows you to animate the transition between one page on your site to another. So this sample site that we have up here right now, we have a click here button, and all that does is go to a separate page. When we click on it, you can see that the page slides out to the right side and the next one fades in. Now if we click this button again, you can see that that one drops out to the bottom and this actually rotates in. So you have a couple of different options as far as how you want the pages to transition from one another. It's a really simple widget to use, and let me show you how you can make it work in Muse. Let's jump into Muse here, and now we have two options for using this widget. You could put it on the master page of your site, and what that will do is apply the same transition on the page load and the page unload to every page of the site. Or you could use the widget on each individual page of your site, and you could set a different page load and page unload transition for each of them. So first, let's just jump into the master here, and we'll go into our library panel and scroll down to number 35, which is animated page transitions. And let's drag that out on the page. Okay. And so we get a little preview of a graphic here, and we just made this little graphic so that you'd know that you actually had a MuseThemes widget on the page, but this isn't going to show up on your site or anything. It's just used for previewing. So if we look at the flyout panel here, it's really small because this widget only has a few options. In the panel here, we start with the animation in effect or the page load effect. So if we bring up the drop down, you can see that we have about 10 options to choose from, but let's just leave it set at fade in for now. Then we have the animation out effect or page unload. So each page will have its own in and out effect. So let's leave fade out on for this one. And then we can just set the duration of either animation. So this is in milliseconds. So we'll just set it to 1,000, which basically means 1 second for each transition. Okay, so now if we preview the site in the browser, because we put that transition on our master page, you can see that even this page faded in. And now if we click on the About page, this fades out and that page fades in. So this is a way to apply a really tasteful and subtle transition to your pages quickly by just dropping it on one page. Now, if you wanted to do something a little bit more elaborate, what you could do is you could put this widget on each page. So let me cut this, and I'll go to our home page here, and I'll paste it on the home page, and let's put it somewhere out of the way. Okay, and let's set the in animation here as fade in left. So basically it's going to fade in from the left side. Then we'll set the animation out as fade out right. So we're going to have kind of a left to right sliding effect here. And let's slow these down a little bit. So let's set this to 2,000. Okay. So now let's go ahead and copy this to another page. We'll put it on the About page. And let's set something different. So if we set on the About page, let's set fade in left again, so that it almost appears like the page before slides into this page. But for this, let's go ahead and set something a little bit more dramatic for the animation out effect. So we'll go rotate out. So that should kind of rotate the page. Okay, so now that we've got those two set up, let's go preview site in browser. We can't preview just the page. We need to generate all the pages of the site. Okay, so now we have the page coming in from the left, and if we click on the About page, I'm expecting this to slide to the right out, and then the next page will come in. So there it slid to the right, and then now this one came in from the left. So that's what created that kind of sliding effect between pages. Now this page should rotate out, and there you go, so it rotates. So you can see that you can play with combining both sides of the animation. The in should kind of link to the out in kind of a tasteful way, and make sure that you're not having things rotating and flipping and all of that for every single page of the site. I think this widget works best if you have a nice simple fade, and I think that's the best way for you to use it without distracting your users too much. So that's it for this widget. One thing to note on it is that we were not able to animate page fill background. So basically what this means, if you were to set an image fill as your background element, that element will not animate as part of it. So it's not going to look odd The page isn't going to stay static or anything like that. It just doesn't have quite the same flipping or rotating effect. This is just due to a limitation in the widget and actually part of the way that Muse codes that background image. So give this widget a shot, and this is our first version of it. So let us know if you have any feedback, and we'll put out a new version as we think of new features to add or if we identify any bugs in it. Thanks again, and good luck.